What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another Hall of Fame Bets live stream where we take a look into some MLB plays for tonight. We're going to be researching player props and parlays, looking for some heat, and also looking through some of your guys' plays. So as always, down below in the live chat, make sure to drop your plays for tonight. We'll take a look at them, see who's come with heat, see who maybe has some more questionable or insights that we need to look deeper into, and then also build some really cool parlays and player props for tonight. So let's do it. I'm going to hop over now to the Hall of Fame Bets leaderboards page up here. Jeremy says, what's up? What's up, Jeremy? How are we doing? You got any plays for us tonight, Jeremy, that you want us to take a look into? Would be curious to see what you are cooking up. So I'm going to go over to the MLB leaderboards tool, like I said, and I want to build. First, I'm going to start off by building kind of a larger odds parlay, something that could be pretty enticing for us here. So I'm going to take a look at starting next game. I'm going to put it on the last 10. Maybe we can go last 5. I want to select, of course, games for tonight. So we have tonight's games here and want to get a deeper look into some potential matchups we could look at. So yeah, let's take a look here and see what we're working with. First, looking through the Dodgers versus the Phillies. Looks like 7 strikeouts for both these pitchers is quite high. However, when we look at 6 for Nola, that could be pretty exciting. I know that game's starting pretty soon, so maybe I'll push back to this 6:35 game. I don't want us to lock in something and then, we decide ultimately to not go with it because the game's starting. So let's move on to this next game where we have Steele and Suarez. I want to take a look at Steele over 5+ strikeouts. This is hitting 85% of games this season. What I want to do next then is go over to the teams tab. We go MLB, we go leaderboards, and then we hop on over to the teams section here. We go teams. We want to go team. We want to go batting. Team batting, and then we want to go team batting strikeouts. Right. So I may actually open this up in 2 different tabs here. So we can click between the 2. This is actually a really helpful way of going about this. So I'm going to go pitchers, and I'm going to go, again, 5 strikeouts for the Cubs game. And, well, that's for, we want starting next game. Okay, like I said. So we can go back over here now, and we could see, okay, for team strikeouts, we want to go to averages. I'm going to go last 20 games and see where these teams rank. So, for example, I'm going to go ascending because we're looking at overs right now. So we can see in this case here, we can see Steele's hit 5+ strikeouts in 85% of games this season, including each of the last 10. That's really strong. Now we want to see where the Orioles rank in terms of team strikeouts. Looks like the Orioles don't average many strikeouts, tied for 6 in the last 20 games. How about on the season? 12th on the season in terms of fewest strikeouts in the league, so kind of more of an average point. How about the last 10 games? Around 10th. So they are, the Orioles don't strike out too much. I'd be curious to see maybe if there's any head-to-head data here with Steele. I doubt it because they're across different divisions, so that's something to keep in mind. I'd be curious with Suarez, for example, maybe looking at an under for him here. In this case, we want to see where the Cubs rank for strikeouts. Looks like the Cubs, I believe recently the Cubs have been striking out a lot. And in fact, they have 3rd most strikeouts over the last 20 games. So maybe an under there isn't the most appealing either. And that's where we can kind of continue on. I still think Steele for 5+ is pretty interesting. So I think we'll hold on to that one for now. I'm going to throw that in my little... just take a note of that quickly, and then we'll continue to go to the next game. So maybe Steele for 5+ is one we'll want to revisit. Okay, let's go over now to New York Yankees versus the Tampa Bay Rays. And what's super interesting about this one here is going to be, again, looking at the matchup. So we see, in this case, Baz has only had 1 start, so not that much data we can work with, but Cortez will be an interesting one. So Cortez for 5+ strikeouts, hitting 74% of games this season. If we go to the last 10, he's hitting 7 of 10. That's pretty solid. How about the last 5? 4 of 5. What about at 6? only 3. So I think 5's kind of a good sweet spot for Cortez. And we could take a look at, again, they're facing Tampa Bay. I believe Tampa Bay are a pretty high strikeout team. Let's see, over the last 20 games. Let's go descending here. Over the last 20 games, they're 13th, so in the top half of the league for strikeouts. And over this course of the season, have been very high strikeout team. So yeah, I think, the Rays are strike out quite frequently, so I'm liking Cortez. Maybe we could see if there's any head-to-head data from this season here. Cortez has gone over in both games against the Rays at 5. So yeah, I think Cortez at 5 is also one that we want to lock in for tonight. So we're going to go Cortez, 5 strikeouts. That's one I think we're very confident in moving forward with. Whereas Steele, a little more questionable, though he has hit in 10 consecutive games. So we'll look more into him in the parlay optimizer. But like I said, we're starting to build a strikeout parlay, which we actually cashed one on Twitter last week. So let's move into our next game here now. And this is going to be the Oakland A's versus the Red Sox. Doesn't look like the A's have a starter listed yet, so we're going to look at Tanner Houck. He cashed against the A's earlier this season. And excuse me, sorry, I had the head-to-head filter selected. So in this case, it's Medina that they'll be facing, and I believe both these teams are high strikeout teams. Yep, over the course of the season, these are the 2 of the highest strikeout teams. And we go to the last 20. Looks like the A's strikeouts. Let's see where are they? Okay, they're 6th. Boston are 7th over the last 20. So both high strikeout teams here. So ideally, we want to look for overs, and in this case here. We could see with Houck, he's actually had a bit of a rough stretch recently. 6+ strikeouts seems a little aggressive, but at 5+, we're not getting much value here. Has he faced the A's? Yes, he went over against the A's earlier this season. How many strikeouts did he have against the A's earlier this season? Wow, so he had a really high strikeout game against the A's. So in that case, we may want to look at him for 6. I think there's decent value at 6. And he's hit in 50% of games this season. However, only one of his last 4. So that certainly does concern me a bit. In the case of Medina here, yeah, I don't think we're gonna want to pull an over in this case. Just not getting enough value here. I'm gonna add Houck to the list for now. But I think again another one that we can come back to potentially. And yeah, guys, right now we're just building a fun strikeout parlay for the remainder of the games today. And feel free, if you have any, props that you like for tonight so far that you think we should add to this parlay, let us know and we'll take a look at them. And yeah, if anyone's wondering what we're using to research, we're using the Hall of Fame Bets app and website. Very good for data and research for your plays. So check out the link in the description and use the promo code 5OFF to get 25% off your first month. So yeah, let's move into our next game here. We have the Miami Marlins versus the Houston Astros. Munoz versus Bloss. Again, Bloss, a very small sample size, so don't want to look into that too much here. But in the case of Munoz, hit in 6 of 9 games this season for 4+ strikeouts. I believe Houston, however, are a lower strikeout team. And in fact, they are. So I think, yeah, in that case there, I think we're going to want to look at potentially an under here. So let's take a look at 6+ strikeouts. What's the under looking at for under 5.5? Minus 325 there. How about 4.5? Minus 130. This is hit in 4 of the last 5 starts. I like that then. So we're going to look at Munoz under 4.5 strikeouts. Under 4.5 Ks. Okay. And then that takes us next into, we have 2 more games for tonight. And these games, of course, let's see here. I'm going to go back to at least 4. Okay. Next one is Luis Castillo, and he's facing the Angels. Looks like there isn't an Angels starter listed right now. So we're going to look at Castillo for kind of liking him for 6. Let's see if he hit in the head-to-head. Previously, he has. How many did he go for last time? So he went for 6 precisely. Castillo is on the road. I think he is known for being much better at home. He's hitting only 4 of his last 10, 2 of his last 4. Could we look at an under here potentially for Castillo? He did go under this line last time as well. He's only hitting 42% of games, gone under in 2 of his last 10. And let's see here. If we go under, let's go under 7.5. What's that being offered at? Minus 250. I kind of like that. Hitting 79% of games this season, gone under in the head-to-head. The Angels are, I think, a middling strikeout team. Yeah, lean towards fewer though strikeouts. So yeah, I think I'm liking this one here for Castillo under 7.5. Let's see. Under 7.5. That's pretty sweet. Okay. We could even 6.5 is pretty risky. We'll see what the parlay odds are looking like for us. He's hitting 8 of the last 10 though, and in 3 of the last 5. So, and he did go under in the head-to-head. Let's see greater history against the Angels. Yeah, it looks pretty good. So we'll consider 6.5. This is again when we throw it in the parlay optimizer. We'll see what we're working with, and this finally takes us to our final game of the night, which is going to be Atlanta versus Arizona. Arizona, a low strikeout team. So let's see what we can work with. So, okay. 56% of games, hit in 6 of the last 10, 3 of the last 5. Let's see, Atlanta are more of a high strikeout team here. So in that case, what are we getting for 5 strikeouts? It's minus 380, not the value we're looking for. But yes, Atlanta, guys, if we see very high strikeout team, especially as of recent. So perhaps we want to look at this 6+. Let's see here. Last 10, 6 out of 10, 3 out of 5. Is there any head-to-head? Yeah, it did hit in the head-to-head. By how much? Quite comfortably. So yeah, we'll add that for now as well. All right. 6 strikeouts. And then what about Fried? What are we thinking for Fried? I think potentially an under for him. Let's see. Under like 6.5. Again, low strikeout team are the Diamondbacks, I believe. Yes, they are a low strikeout team. So in the case of Fried, we're potentially looking for an under. This did go over under in the head-to-head, and he's gone under this line. 5.5. That's an interesting one. Minus 215. Hit in 6 of his last 10. 4 of his last 5. Let's run it. Fried under 5.5. Okay. And guys, now this is where I'm going to need your help in particular. Is once we enter these plays in. Jimmy, what's up? Mikhail, how are we doing? He says, Ohtani, two total bases. That's great. Jimmy says, Trey Turner over 1.5 hits. I got Tanner Hawk 6Ks and Justin Steele 6K parlay. Okay, those are both great. Thank you for sharing those. So yeah, I think what we're going to do now is we'll go over to the parlay optimizer, and I'll plug some of these into the PO and see what you guys are thinking here. So yeah, curious to see which ones. But yeah, Hawk 6Ks and then Steele 6K parlay is pretty interesting. And then Jimmy, Mikhail, shout out to you guys for all tuning in here. So I'm going to pop back over now to the parlay optimizer and enter in some of these props, and we're going to start to build a larger size but responsibly well crafted parlay here. So let's do it. First one will be Steele for 5+. And again, guys, for anyone wondering how we're doing this parlay research, all through Hall of Fame bets. Phenomenal source for research, and like I said, if you want to check it out for yourself, check out the link in the description, and you can use the promo code to save some money on your first month. So Cortez for 5 strikeouts. We're going to add in, we want Hawk for 6 potentially. And again, right now we've identified some decent props, but this is where we're really going to kind of dive into things a little bit more here and make sure and verify our props and verify our parlay as well. So under 4.5. Looking good. A couple more we need to add. Is going to be Castillo. Castillo 7.5. And of course, what we're going to want to do too is once we kind of find some stuff we like, is start to look at the parlay odds for that. So let's go. I'm going to go here for our final game of the night. for what, 6, and then Fried under 5.5. And guys, one thing to note while we were going through these, what we were primarily looking at was switching between kind of where these teams rank in terms of their strikeouts. So for teams that are unders, we were looking at low strikeout. For pitchers that we were going under with, we were looking for low strikeout teams, versus for pitchers we're going over with, we're looking for them to be facing high strikeout teams. So I hope that's kind of a helpful insight as well. And personally, a strategy that I have found quite a bit of success with. So, all right, let's calculate and see what we're working with. And in the meantime, I may also start to plug this into my sports book. But first, I want to take a look through the calculation here. Oh, what happened there? Oh, am I going to have to enter that again? Let's do it. Okay. Looks like my Wi-Fi just kind of flopped out there for a second. Apologies there, guys. But yeah, let me go back over to it now. So we're going to go, I'm just going to pull up. So we want Steele, 5+. Again, apologies there. I know that took a second. Cortez, 4, 5+. Add Hawk, 6+. Add. What do you guys think is more important? Do you think like recent performances are more important? Head-to-head is more important? Like, what do you guys really value? Because I think that's another great question, too. If it's a high strikeout team, they've also hit the head-to-head, but their recent performances haven't been as strong. Like, what do we value more, I think, is something that I'm curious to hear from you guys, what you think is better. Okay, Castillo. Okay, 7.5. Yeah, 8 strikeouts is a lot, right? So I feel pretty good here. And then, let's see. Add game. 6+. And then add leg. Under 5.5. Alright, gonna hit calculate here now. I don't know. Huh, that's odd. Must be a little bug there. So I'm gonna try and enter these kind of more slowly then, or with a couple at a time. So we're gonna try first Steele for 5+. Calculate. Alright, we've got that one in. We'll add Cortez. We want 5+. Calculate now. That looks good. We're gonna add in another game. We want Hawk for 6+. This is one I'm kind of skeptical about. I think he's really struggled as of late, so it definitely makes me a little bit nervous here. Let's add in Munoz. Ooh. There we go. Under 4.5. Good. Add in Castillo. Under 7.5. Sweet. Good, awesome. All right, and then our final two. I'm curious to see. It's something wrong with that final game. Okay, that is bizarre. Let me try and enter those ones first. Sorry about this, guys. We should have this good in a second here. Yep. And then Fried. Under 5.5. Okay. Let's see, going in 7.5. We want the under. And guys, we are cooking up some, hopefully a fire parlay here for tonight. Hopefully we can get some winners on this one. Munoz, 4.5. We want the under. Let's see how we're looking so far. Okay, looking pretty good. We'll add in Hawk here. Awesome. For 6. Add in Cortez. For what? Cortez for 5. All right. And then now our final one, Steele. We need the add game. Cubs. We want Steele for 5+. All right, here we go. All right, sweet. So here are all of our legs. All right. Let's take a look here. So Jeremy says he looks at head-to-head. Tavares says last 20 games. What I'm going to do, obviously, I think a big part, like I had mentioned, was I select overs based on teams that they're facing that strike out a lot. And I've bet unders based on, obviously, teams that they're pitchers that are facing teams that don't strike out very often. So that's my first thing. And then, yes, I look at both head-to-head and also recent performances. So when I go here, I'm going to take a look at their last 20 starts. In this case here, we see a trend with Hawk going under, and this is one we want to investigate a little bit more. So when we go over to scroll down to his specific profile, looks like he had 1 strikeout against the Yankees, 4 against the Padres, had 7 against Toronto, and then 5 against Toronto. So to be fair now, I think one thing I know, right, looking at this list here, in this case, when he faced San Diego, for instance, San Diego are a very low strikeout team. So the Padres averaged the fewest strikeouts over the last 20 games. So again, one of the lower strikeout teams in the league. He also faced the Blue Jays. Blue Jays are, let's see here. They've been striking at a decent rate in the last 20 over the course of the season. Where are the Blue Jays? Let's take it. Again, a lower strikeout team over the course of the season, though in the last 20 games they have been striking out more frequently than they had been. So that's something we would want to consider there too. And then, like we said, against the Yankees, where do the Yankees rank here? Yankees seem to be a lower strikeout team also. So yeah, he's gone under against a lot of low strikeout teams. I'd be curious to see what the A's strikeouts have looked like in the last 10 games or so as well. Like how the pitchers that they've faced done against them. So we could see, for example, if we want to go, yeah, I think, and we can also see here too, if we want to look at, in this case, for Hawk, we could see in the head-to-head game, he had 10 strikeouts against the A's earlier this season. He's going to be at home. He's hitting 60% of home games. In the last 5, I'd be curious to see how many of those last 5 games were, his last 4 starts were at home. Only 2, so that could be a beneficial factor for him as well. So yeah, what do we think about this Hawk one? I'm pretty split, but I think, with the A's recently, let's go. I'm going to just go on Google and take a look here too. If we go Oakland A's, and let's just take a look at some of those pitchers they have faced recently. So if we take a look and see their recent starts have been against the likes of Nick Pivetta, who had recorded 10 strikeouts against them. If we want to go to other starts as well, we can see Bayo had 11 strikeouts. Who else do we want to look at? Let's take a look here for the Orioles. Pitcher Spence had 5 strikeouts. Who else? Let's take a look at one more. Yeah, we'll go over to this one. Probably not a lot of strikeouts in this game just because of only 1 inning for the starter. So let's look at another game here. Against the Orioles. Orioles starter Suarez had 6 strikeouts. So yeah, I think I'm liking Hawk for the over here. We're gonna go 6 strikeouts for him. I'm gonna keep that one in for now. So I think we're good on that one. That was kind of a questionable one for me. Let's take a look now at a couple other of these. In the case of these two right here, let's take a look at recent performances. I'm curious about this one. I think the over is with the knowledge, of course, that I think he had hit, both of these guys had hit in head-to-head games previously, with 5 right below for Fried and 7 as well. And let's see again, recent performances. I think 3 of the last 5. In the case of the Braves are striking out a lot right now. What sportsbooks allow you to alternate strikeouts over and under? I think FanDuel, DraftKings, a lot of the major ones do. Which one, I guess, what sportsbook do you use, Tavarius? I'd be curious to hear. How do we feel about, let's see here. Over the last 20, this is hit in, I think a lot of these have been really strong over the last 20 except for Hawk, right? Hawk is the outlier here, but we've kind of vetted it, seeing the A's strike out a ton. With Steele, how do we feel about the Steele one? That's a great question because it's just like he faces the Orioles who don't strike out very often. Does he have any historical data against the Orioles? Has not faced the Orioles this season. How about going back to last season? He did face the Orioles once and went under. He has hit in 10 straight games, but that also makes me a little skeptical in away games. 6 of 7. What is the value we're getting at for Steele? I'm going to start to plug some of this into the parlay. I'm going to start to plug this into my sportsbook. I'm going to go on FanDuel and start to plug some of these in. I also think Steele's game is coming up really shortly, so we may not try and force that one in if we want a little bit extra time to research here. So I'm going to take a look at, let's go here for MLB. And yeah, this game's just about to start, so we'll see. Steele for 5+. That's at minus 300. Let's go. What's next here? Yeah, Cortez for 5+. Hawk for 6+. I'm just gonna see what these parlay odds are, guys. Munoz for under 4.5. See if there's an alt line available for that. Okay, that's available. Castillo under 7.5 may not be available. So we'll have to see for that one on FanDuel. I should have gone to DraftKings. Yeah, his line's set at 5.5. See, should I go to DraftKings then? Maybe I'll try DraftKings and see if there's an alt line for him. 5.5 is a low line for him considering. But yeah, let's go over to, I'm going to just check on DraftKings and see if there's an alt for him potentially. If not, we can maybe pull him out of the parlay. So if we want to go pitcher props, alternate, yeah. There's no alternate strikeout line offered for him under 7.5. So I think we'll just pull him out for now then. And then we have the last game as well. Let's go here. Fried. Oops, these are tomorrow's games. Yeah, here we go. Alt strikeouts or player strikeouts. Fried. Don't see an under 5.5 for him either. So we could just be looking at the 6+. Again, this could be offered. Let me see if this one's offered on DraftKings also. Let's see, pitcher props. Under, yeah, I'm not seeing the under 5.5 for him. I'm just seeing the alternates for overs. So yeah, I guess we'll take out a couple of these props then. So let me just edit them. We want to get rid of the Fried prop and the Castillo prop. So we'll recalculate here and see. Tavares says I use those two as well, but those don't allow you to alternate down on the under, just allows you to alternate up. Castillo at, yeah, that's right. That is correct. I think probably ESPN Bet would allow that. So right now, guys, we're getting implied odds of plus 940 on this. When we go back over to our sportsbook, we can see it's loading very slowly here. That's 2, 4, 5 legs. I'm curious to see what we're getting this for. I'm going to reload FanDuel real quick. Sorry. My connection's a little slow. How's it been running for you guys so far? Also, I'm on 17% battery, so we got to make sure we wrap up before my laptop dies. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the research. So this is being offered for plus 611. So we're losing, a significant chunk of value here to start off. I think when we look at things like head-to-head, a lot of these have hidden head-to-head games this season, which I really like. Cortez 5+, Hawk for 1. Look, are there any props that we're losing value on here potentially? I'd say the Steele one is potentially a value loser at minus 300, considering he went under against the Orioles last season. And the Orioles are a low strikeout team, and that game's just about to start. So let me see what it looks like without that prop. It's plus 421. That probably is one that kind of brings it up a bit. Let's see here. Yeah, so Steele has hit in 10 consecutive games. So, yeah, let's see. I'm going to go last 20. I'm going to add Steele back in for now. What do you guys think? Should we rock with Steele? Should we rock without Steele? Let's see here. Just going to add in Steele for 5+ once again. I'm going to check the comments real quick. Anyone, what do you think? We're rocking with Steele or without Steele? That was being offered again at like 611 right now for these 5. I really like over here, the head-to-head plus Atlanta are striking out a ton recently. I like the over here, head-to-head plus Oakland are striking out a ton recently. Cortez is hitting 2 games. Tampa Bay strike out pretty frequently. And most of these, other than Hawk, have been really good in the last 20. Steele's been on a hot streak. So I think if you want to rock with Steele, and then also with Munoz, Houston don't strike out too often, and he's gone under in each of the last, I think, 4 games, 4 consecutive. Yeah. So I like what we have here. I think when we're considering these different factors, in particular, right, the last 20, or if we're looking at like the head-to-head. So I know while it does have an overall negative edge here, I think overall when we're considering some of these factors, it's actually a pretty strong play. So yeah, the only thing would be potentially taking out Steele, and I'd be curious to see what type of impact that has. But yeah, that game's just about to start, so let's rock with it. I'm gonna take a little screenshot of this to send to the community. And yeah, what do you guys think about the play for tonight? Are you excited by it? Do you think it has a decent shot? Is it one that you guys feel like makes a lot of sense? What prop are you nervous about out of this play? I'd be curious to get those comments down below in the chat and hear what you guys think on this one, because I think I overall really like this play, but would be curious to understand what you guys think could be missing. So I'm just going to take a screenshot of this. And I'm just going to send it to the Discord community. That's also included in your subscription to Hall of Fame Bets is access to the Discord server. And the Discord's really cool in the fact that it's a collaborative space for people to research together, and everyone in there are people that are into sports betting research, people who are finding plays with value. And so, yeah, I think that's a cool part of it. This is what we cooked up on the live stream today. I'm just sending this to the Discord because that is some heat. And yeah, let me go back over and see what comments you guys have on the play. Any that you don't roll with it, says Jeremy. OVO said, never thought I'd be saying this, but I love betting MLB. The under 1.5 Nerfy leaderboard and strikeouts are fantastic, he says. I just got in, so I'm not really sure, but I'm a trust and ride maybe. Just watered down other concerns. Yeah, that's a great point. I think for the most part, we got rid of most of the concerns. I think, when we're looking at it just straight up, right, in terms of it does have an overall negative edge, but I think when we dive into it, OVO, just to explain the play to you quickly, and then we'll wrap up here. I think overall it's good, right? I think when we look at recent performances, a lot of these have been very solid. What to consider here, this is only 2 of 4, but of course, being at home, I think will have a positive impact. And in both players that have lower performances in the last 4, have both hit in head-to-head, so we see 3 pitchers with really strong head-to-head performances. I think all these also match for the under here. This is a low strikeout team. The rest of these are higher strikeout teams. So yeah, I think the combination of matching overs with high strikeouts, unders with low strikeouts, excuse me, head-to-head performances, and then finally recent performances, I think we've cooked up a pretty fire parlay here. So yeah, guys, before we go, just want to say, as always, thank you to everyone who tuned in. Make sure to check out the link in the description to check out this cool research tool. The Parlay Optimizer is phenomenal, the best parlay research tool out there. And then, of course, the leaderboards is really great for narrowing down our props. And yeah, shout out to everyone who tuned in. We'll be having these MLB live streams once again weekly, so expect more. And yeah, for those of you in the Discord, we have a fun challenge coming later this week. Should have a community parlay on Friday, which is tomorrow, so looking forward to that as well. Again, if you join the Discord, if you subscribe to Hall of Fame Bets, you get access to all this research, great research. Then you also get some really good, cool perks, giveaways, challenges, ways to kind of make additional money too. So definitely recommend checking it out. Anyways, guys, have a great night. Best of luck with your bets. Fingers crossed for the parlay, and I will see you next week. Peace.